Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be doing a channeled love letter from your person. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead. Hi, Group 1. You chose this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot, do a quick energy check about your person, see what's going on with them right now, and then I will read the channeled letter and follow that up with some standalone message cards from their higher self, and then close the reading out with some initials. Okay, we have the Devil, the 9 of Cups, Page of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, Ace of Swords, 5 of Wands, the Fool, and the Star. So it feels like your person may be struggling with some fears that have been triggered, a sense of almost wondering what they could really offer you that would contribute to your abundance overall as a person, because they're seeing you as somebody really standing in your power right now. Either you've taken your power back from the situation, if this has been like a hot and cold circumstance, like a back and forth, if you've gone into like no contact with one another, it feels that they're, watching from afar, and it's a sense of almost like you've somehow managed to kind of like heal and pick up the pieces without them. And so there's a desire to move back in your direction, but not really being sure kind of what they could offer that would sort of match the frequency and vibration you've cultivated in your life, or even just internally, that's like radiating out in a very palpable way. Or if you've started communicating with one another again, it's almost like they're kind of walking on eggshells, not wanting to say the wrong thing, or kind of disrupt trust that is being rebuilt in the situation, maybe tenuously or gradually, because there's a sense that they're putting you up on a pedestal at this particular point in time and kind of struggling to really feel that they are worthy of like long-term commitment with you, or the sense of like almost that they feel so intensely for you, that there's almost like if you were to kind of outgrow them one day or move on, there's no way that they could kind of ever find someone that would satisfy them as deeply on an emotional and an actual level as you have proven to do, or as they realize that you do. If there is like a period of separation and they're contemplating coming back around, like taking a leap of faith in your direction, they're trying to muster up the courage or keep some sort of seed of hope alive within themselves, because it feels like they're very aware of what's happening right now. They've been pulled in your direction, motivated to move towards you, or maybe the communication is open between the two of you at this point, and it's almost like they've been stopped in their tracks by a very familiar experience of like not feeling good enough. So this can even be something where it's fears that are resurfacing from like previous connections that they've been in with other people, where the rug was like pulled out from under them at a certain point in time, or like the other person might have literally said like, I just don't love you anymore, I don't feel that we're headed in the same direction, I feel that I've outgrown the situation, or you're just not giving me what I'm looking for anymore. And so it feels to be something that there's a sense of like wanting to dive in deeply with you, or do what they can or what is necessary in order to rebuild trust or kind of build with you towards the future. But then there's a fear of like, what if we build something and then it all falls apart? And so it feels like they're very conscious of what's going on at this particular point in time. It almost feels that they may be trying to almost hold back so that they don't like say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, because there's a sense of almost needing to like face their own reflection or confront something within, very tangled up as far as like, is this the right strategy? Is this too great of a risk? Am I risking that the foundation that we have with one another or what we're working to repair with each other at this point, is it strong enough to kind of endure this period of, I'm afraid of what comes next in the situation, but I'm more afraid of like something very beautiful happening next in the situation, and then I lose you later. Then it all falls apart later. And then what am I left with? Because there's a sense that you've made a very strong impression upon this person. There's something where they're very kind of like fixated on your energy, or they keep sort of circling back around to it, hopes and dreams for what the future can hold, in a sense of like, I don't want to miss this opportunity or mess this up in some sort of way. And so it feels like it's, again, like they're very conscious of this level of intimidation, but they're not just stopping at that. This isn't the energy of like, I'm intimidated and I'm defeated and this is as far as it goes. It's like, I'm very intimidated because I'm prioritizing what we can develop with one another, or what can be salvaged, what we can build from this point forth. And I understand that like this fear is sort of a gauntlet that must be crossed, like a threshold that must be crossed in order to be able to sort of stand beside you confidently, match your energy, your frequency, your vibration, a growth-oriented mindset, or things that you've done to kind of invest in yourself personally on multiple levels that have vastly kind of increased the potency and your awareness of your own worth. Like they see you as somebody that knows your worth, you know your value. You're not going to tolerate any nonsense, or you're not going to tolerate their nonsense anymore if that's been kind of the case in the situation in the past, which it feels like is why they're sort of holding themselves back almost while confronted with this very like reflexive fear, kind of like, if I hold you in my arms and I lose you, that void may be too substantial to ever really kind of repair or fill. If I mess it up this time around again, maybe this is kind of like they already know they're on thin ice, or it's like there's one more opportunity, there's one chance to get this right. And it's almost a sense of, if I mess this up, if I lose you forever, then what am I left with? And so it feels like they're almost like fighting that battle within themselves, not wanting to tell you about that, not wanting to involve you in that, feeling that it's not your place to have to like actively hold space or to, encourage them or anything like that. This is more of kind of like building up their ego into something healthy, shedding the bits of kind of wounded pride from other circumstances in their past that may have just sort of been dwelling within the shadow, that have now come to the surface now that they're at this place of sort of like, I know what I want, I see what I want, I know the direction to move towards in the future, coming back around into your life, resurfacing, or continuing to pour forth effort to building something strong and lasting with you. But there's a sense of almost like needing to kind of vanquish this part of themselves that would hesitate, where they'd hold back. There's a sense that they want to be very open and honest and provide for you on a very deep level, emotionally, energetically, actually, spiritually. And so it's a sense of almost trying to like free themselves, it feels like at this point in time, from those limiting beliefs in order to turn and face you directly and really recognize themselves as worthy to kind of stand in your presence, to build in the direction of love with you. So let's see what they want you to know from their higher self. I have been thinking a lot lately about the idea of love and how something which was once just a word that warmed a certain part of me with memories from more innocent times, and with that the remembering of why I needed to turn my heart to stone, has now become something multifaceted and hopeful ever since I looked into your eyes. My life prior to encountering you feels like only half of what it is supposed to mean to be alive. And now that I've found you, a whole level of emptiness is disappearing, only to be replaced by the vibrancy of your deeply compelling presence. I taste your essence inside of me. It is insufficient to say I crave you, for there is only a sense of belonging within this feeling, because you have become a need that everything inside of me insists I must now prioritize, to the exclusion of all the heartbreak from previous chapters I have been carrying around with me like a weight. You have brought me back to life, and the future no longer feels like something I must brace myself to face all alone. You motivate me to trust in love again. You are the angel I have been looking for all along. So let's see what else your person wants you to know from their higher self. Okay, and they say, I'm not used to a connection like this, so I run. I know more than you think. I am protecting this connection. It was you. It was always you. I've been astral projecting to you. No one can change my love for you. You influence me in ways no one ever has. I do want us to be in a relationship. I've thought about having a family with you. And I regret walking away from you. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or can spell something out, so whatever resonates for you. We've got D, P, Z, H, L, L, G, O, T, V, G, H, C, I, M, R, S, O, and S. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot and do a quick energy check about your person, see what's going on with them right now, and then I will read the channeled letter and follow that up with some message cards from their higher self, and then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Okay, we have the World, Four of Wands, the Lovers, Nine of Cups, Death, the Hangman, Strength, Eight of Wands, Knight of Swords, and the Five of Swords. So this energy feels like your person is giving a lot of thought and consideration to what the next steps between the two of you will be. There's a lot of future planning, forward thinking, long-term possibilities and potentials that may have them really in their head a lot. You may be picking up a lot of this energy, the idea of like energy flows where attention goes, for everything that they've expressed to you, intentions that they've made known, or words and affirmations of love and affection that have been expressed outwardly. It feels like that there's much more to that than meets the eye. You have definitely captivated this person. You've captured their heart in some way. You have redefined for them the intensity and nature of what it feels like to be drawn towards a person, to want to almost like fight for the connection or fight for the future of a connection with you. It feels like they almost feel that the two of you already belong to one another, even if there's still a lot that hasn't been said out loud, or a formal commitment that still needs to be made to one another. If you've had your ups and downs with each other, there's a sense of like, we can get through this, or I'm determined to work with you, or to fight through kind of like any of the difficulties, any of the challenges in communication that have taken place, anything that they've said or done to sort of upset the balance between the two of you. There's a sense of like, I want to course correct this. I want to remedy that and balance the scales so that you understand I'm in this for the long haul. I'm with you in the long-term sense, even if we're needing to take things very gradually to build in that direction. I see a future with you. I see forever with you. I see you as my person, as the one, as the person that I want to be with. It feels like they may also be in the process at this point in time of kind of cutting out other distractions in their life. This could be almost a lot of mental energy that may have been involved in kind of like anger or resentment toward other situations that they'd had in their life previously, where they'd felt they'd maybe wasted their time, or all of their efforts were kind of in vain. There's a sense of almost like not wanting to bring that baggage into the situation, not wanting to compare what the two of you have to other situations that they have been through. And so there's a sense of almost being very proactive to keep circling their attention around the present moment, the reality of what the two of you have with one another in the here and now, and how that is something, or this is something that is very different from everything that they've ever known. There's a desire to protect this connection. There's a desire to kind of step out of their comfort zone or do things that they have not done in other connections, because they see your value, they see your worth. You complement them very beautifully, or you fit very precisely into the visioning that they have of what forever should be like, in a very beautiful way. You make them feel very safe and secure as they are, very kind of respected and cherished as they are. And so there's a deep sense of wanting to reciprocate that with you, which involves not as much kind of mental energy directed towards frustration or focus on things in their life in the past that they are powerless to change. It's almost like this connection, or the exchange of energy between the two of you directly or even at a distance, it's helping to heal some sort of aspect within where they may have operated in life with a capacity of sort of like crystallizing the wisdom from wounds in the past, but always comparing new situations to kind of like the checklist of what they never want to experience again. And it feels like that had sufficed to kind of navigate through life up to a particular point in time. But now that they're here in this energy, in this moment with you, there's a sense of almost like needing to throw that checklist away and put their full faith in the exact opposite of every worst thing that they have experienced in love is here in the form of the beautiful connection that you share or that you're building, or that they want to invest more deeply and more consistently in cultivating with you. And so it's almost like you're healing perhaps an aspect of this person's inclination to like look behind them with regret. That might have taken up a lot of their kind of mental energy, or had motivated kind of the way in which they'd constructed their life, or had been progressing forward in terms of like even holding back in terms of what they've expressed to you in order to kind of like give the situation time to develop, to make sure that you're both kind of comfortable with how things are evolving. And there's a sense of you've reached a place in your connection, or they've reached a place within themselves of like everything is a green flag. The red flags that they had been seeking to avoid for a substantial portion of their life, that were the result of other situations previously that had caused heartbreak, those are not present in this situation. And so there's almost like you've helped to kind of bring this person up into the now, into the present moment. They've reclaimed parts of themselves that were kind of left within the memories of heartbreak, because all of them is very invested in kind of what the two of you can build in the future, what they want to develop in this situation with you moving forward. So they may be planning some kind of big declaration. They may be at the threshold of opening up more as far as their communication, not just keeping these thoughts and words and phrases internalized, but it's almost like inviting you in closer to their personal truth, who they are as a person, who they are as a lover, who they are like within this connection, by becoming more expressive, or softening some sort of stance where they've been withholding up to this point in time. Like you've earned their trust. They're very invested in this connection and seeing it through to whatever comes next between the two of you, which they're very hopeful and optimistic will be something beautiful. So again, like conversation that they may be gearing up to have with you, something that kind of gives you an understanding of sort of like where they're at presently and what they want to develop between the two of you in the future, as well as what they are actually intending to do in order to make movement in that direction, or like lead the connection in that direction, or walk with you in sort of building and developing in a very particular direction that has to do with tightening your bond with one another, creating more closeness, putting any fears or doubts that you may have about their commitment to you to rest, by showing you that they're deeply invested in this. They're all in. They're wanting a future with you. So, let's see what they want you to know in this channeled letter. I don't want to come on too strong, and yet I can't keep my eyes off of you. I sense you have been betrayed by people who once swore they loved you and would be loyal. I want to show you a dedication that is given freely and consistently, so that your guarded nature can be replaced with more of a willingness and ability on your part to believe the world is still a beautiful place, and not everyone will get your hopes up only to leave you hanging. I know we are kindred souls. I recognize within you all that I need to feel complete within the life I've built for myself. You are radiant in every form that you take. Please never stop blessing me with the power of your presence across all seasons of my life. To wake up beside you and to hold you close in the night is a long-term and not temporary basis, is the prize I am focused on intently as I simultaneously study you and allow myself to become inspired by the intricacy of who you are, which is part of my process in learning how to love you right. I will be gentle with your heart. I will show you that love does not hurt. I will continue setting the tone and the pace of our progression if you will allow me, because I am confident in my ability to lead us in the right direction so that this love can bloom in the most advantageous way. So let's see what else your person wants you to know right now. Okay, and they say, I'm not blind to the signs, I do see them. The sexual thoughts that run through my mind. I hold back because I don't want to be rejected. I know we are being spiritually guided. The thought of explaining myself and apologizing scares me. I don't want to see the pain I've caused in your eyes. Just know I'm obsessed with you. I do think about the future, and when I do, I think about you in it. I've been feeling your presence around me. I've thought about living together. And I know you're my twin flame. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got B, Z, Q, V, H, U, P, O, K, R, Y, D, V, A, I, X, O, H, and B. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. Chose this channeled letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot and do a quick energy check on your person, see what's going on with them right now, and then I will read the channeled letter and follow that up with some message cards from their higher self, and then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Okay, we have the Devil, the High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles, the Fool, Justice, Three of Cups, King of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Three of Pentacles. So this energy is talking about something that your person is working on behind the scenes that speaks to efforts to kind of tidy up some things in their life, up level in some sort of way. It feels like they're very inspired and motivated by you and how you live your life, what the connection is kind of asking of them, or maybe even demanding of them, in order for them to kind of continue to hold a place of like relevance within your life, in a long-term sense. Or even things that had been kind of bad habits or things that had been overlooked. This could be lifestyle choices, maybe just kind of not being very serious about the future, any ways in which they've been kind of settling in their life, or cutting corners in their life. There's a sense of they've gotten very serious and very motivated to step up to a next level, to consciously evolve into like a better version of themselves than who they know internally in a certain capacity, or actually in a certain capacity that they've been doing up to this point. And it's with the intention and with the desire of, I want to be all that I can be for you, for myself, and also for you, and for what we can build with one another. There's a sense that they don't want to risk losing you in some capacity due to aspects where you don't necessarily see eye to eye, or they've recognized that it's like things that could be problematic in the future, that rather than kind of waiting for those things, whether it's internal beliefs or lifestyle habits or choices, or just something where maybe they've not been feeling like very good about themselves and they could do some things to kind of increase their self-esteem. It's like, rather than waiting for the bottom to drop out on this situation and then for them to kind of be motivated to make these changes and have to like try to beg to get back in your life, or sort of say, well, I've changed and will you give me another chance. It's like they're getting ahead of the curve, being very proactive about those things in the here and now, because there's a sense of, I want to keep evolving beside you. I want to keep growing beside you. I want to be able to match the pace of like who you are as a person, who I have seen flourish within the connection that we share already at this point in time, but then also who you were as a person prior to us coming into one another's lives, or independent of this connection that you've chosen to, or maybe have not been given the choice to, have been kind of compelled to evolve into as a person in general. So this could involve kind of getting more serious about long-term goals, cutting out things that only sort of lower their vibration, compromise their view of self, dealing with some kind of like aspects within themselves where maybe they've sort of shut down emotionally. They've kind of kept love at arm's length, or had maybe told themselves they weren't deserving of like a deep and healthy partnership like you've offered or you've given to them up to this point in time. And so there's a sense of them almost like taking down some blocks around their heart, allowing themselves to kind of receive the fullness of what you are offering, willing themselves to get into a position where they can give more fully to you emotionally than they have up to this point in time, than they've been able to, or were willing to, or felt comfortable in doing. Because there's a sense that their heart is safe with you. You're worth giving all that they are into making you feel prioritized, safe within the connection, confident that they're not going to walk away during struggle or when times get tough, but that they'll work with you. They'll do what they can to continue to sort of be very mindful or proactive about themselves, that they aren't sort of like sinking into old patterns. Old behaviors from the past aren't surfacing. There's a deep desire not to take you or this connection for granted. So they really cherish you. They see you as somebody very exceptional. Somebody that's worth every ounce of struggle that it may take in order for them to like open up emotionally in some way, or any kind of changes that need to be made in the material world, or like belief systems within, or things like influences they need to kind of, or habits they need to sort of cut out of their life that may provide like a temporary sort of discomfort in retraining the brain towards something else, or kind of creating new routines for themselves, it's worth it, because on the other side of that, they're recognizing is like a strengthening of your bond with one another, a building of trust. It's almost like a gesture of loyalty through some kind of commitment to not just kind of accept anything they've been very complacent about in their life, but to really strive to up level in some sort of way. You've opened their heart and their mind to maybe a different aspect of love language, or you've been very accepting of like their love language up to this point in a way that like other people have not. And so it's almost like this is almost a sense of, I want to give you a gift. I want to give you something. The best thing that I can give at this point in time is focusing on activating and bringing to the surface that better or more kind of resolute version of myself that has existed beneath kind of all the areas of life that I've just been sort of coasting through. I've been settling in some sort of way. So you've enlivened this person almost to become very proactive in towards something, to at least start to build in some kind of other direction than they have, but not so that they're building away from you, but it's almost a sense of so that they can feel that they have kind of what it takes to be able to offer you something dynamic, stable, and also flexible enough to sort of meet you where you are and evolve alongside you. So let's see what they want you to know in this channeled letter. It is taking every ounce of resolve within myself to remain patient with the process we are both going through. I see eternity in your eyes, and it is a realm I want to run towards and not away from. I feel that we are both being subtly shaped by this gradual process of revisiting again and again the knowledge that there is a deep and unexplainable connection between us that leaves no room for either of us to hide. I have built walls to keep people out, and rather than you asking me to dismantle these, you are honoring the nature of my boundaries beautifully, and through this act of selflessness are seeping in through the cracks in the mortar to occupy my heart in a way that suggests you were always meant to live there. The silent understanding between us is priceless, and it is summoning forth from within me a desire to be known as I am, rather than trying to figure out who you need me to be for your sake. I want to be bold and honest with you. There is not 1 ounce of love I wish to withhold from you. I feel more like myself than I ever have with anyone else, and through this you are healing a notion that I have carried within me for many years, that the love I have to give was simply not enough. I feel abundant in your presence and totally comfortable in this moment. So let's see what else they want you to know from their higher self. Okay, and we have, I've been thinking about proposing to you. I hold back because I don't want to be rejected. I do talk about you. I'm really sensitive deep down. I just put up a front. You influence me in ways no one ever has. Give me a chance. I am situating this karmic situation. I've thought about having a family with you. No one can change my love for you. And I reminisce a lot on the times spent with you. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got L, G, T, B, P, K, N, D, T, F, I, D, X, W, P, H, N, E, G, I, and Y. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.